Okay, let's talk the network view and everything that entails. The network view is the beating heart of Harmony, and so much takes place here in the network view. And this is node-based software. This is what you call node-based software. And so the best software is node-based. Nuke is node-based. Fusion, even Maya. Maya's got a lot of nodes and node-based. The reason why it is that it's easy to read. It's easy to figure out what someone else did. You ever try and go in an After Effects project and try and figure out what someone else did? It's a nightmare. You can't follow it. That's why it's just so personal. When you have your own After Effects project, you know what you did, but it's really hard for someone else to figure out what you did. So, and with Flash and the new parenting feature, it's hard to read. This is a lot easier to read, and you can make it a little bit bigger, a little smaller, and you can figure out what's happening. Okay, so what am I looking at? Well, this is the drawing of my fisherman that I made. Okay, this was a JPEG that I scanned it in, I sketched it on a table. You don't have to do that. You can sketch it in Harmony. That would be better. That would be great, but that's what I did, and I did this a very, very long time ago. And I have a color card. Well, look at my timeline here. I have two groups. This is a group called Fisherman 1 and Fisherman. They're currently disabled. All right, and so if I enable the first group and I hit A, you'll see that that's the line work I did. And notice that I drew through it, okay? This is the cleanup. A is for activate. D is for deactivate. Why would I deactivate a node? Well, what if I wanted to just had so many nodes where the director said, get rid of that character, we don't need him. Great. Would you delete that character? Well, what if you have an undecisive director? You could just say D to turn him off or A to turn him back on again. Okay? And so, what is the difference between the network view and the timeline? Well, the timeline has timing information. You notice that right when I go to frame 2, he disappears. Everything that I have is on frame 1. So the timeline has timing and animation information, and the network view has setup information. It does not have timing information at all. Okay, but they are the same. There's the group, there's the other group, there's the JPEG, and there's the color card. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, and then everything funnels into a composite. And if you've ever used After Effects, you can have composites within composites within composites within composites. And eventually it ends up in one main composite. Okay, so I took a drawing like you're going to do. I cleaned it up. I broke it into many different layers. So I'm going to move my pointer over there. And I made all these different layers. Oh, these are all locked. Yay. Okay. And then so all these different pieces, right? And then I'm going to turn this off, disconnect it, turn it on, and then I colored it. Okay, I have a hand that's a little bit disjointed, so I apologize, but that's on purpose at the same time as I'm going to show you how to fix that, or I'm going to show a simple way to fix that. You're not going to work with this rig, obviously, but this is just an example. So now it's colored and all his pieces are laid out. If I hit 9 on the keyboard, I can see all the different pieces and all the different layers. And what's great is, well, how do I find the one I'm looking for? If you select, like say that one, and if you hit O, you'll find it. If you move your cursor over to the network and hit O, you'll find it. Okay, so I have many different layers. Here's all my layers. This is all my layers to my character right here. These are extra effects. I'm not going to go over into them. There's cutters and mats and things like that to keep, like, say, the eyes inside the eye whites and things like that. I'll go over that later, or I'll post something about cutters on the LMS. But in the meantime, these are all my layers, okay? And these are all the things in the body parts that have the ability to be moved, right? So, but in order to move anything in Harmony, you need what is synonymous with moving things, pegs. So if we're going to move something, we need pegs. So I'm going to minimize that menu, and I'm going to give everything in this whole network tree a peg. So I'm going to select everything across, right? And I'm going to hit Command Shift P. Now everything has a peg. Why did I select the drawings first? Because when I hit Command Shift P, the peg inherits the name. Right? I can also just select and hit Command P, and it will also inherit the name. But I did all of these all at once. Okay, so now everything has a peg. All right, I'm not going to parent this whole thing. And if I select this hand and I hit the B key, I can also select the rotation tool and move that rotation tool right, or the center point pivot right at the wrist. And I'm going to just move that back into place. That's actually going to set a key. And well, but that's okay. All right, just for this example. And so if I held the B key, if I hit the B key, I select the object, right, which turns pink, and then I select the peg when I hit B, okay? And to fix the rotational edit center, I select the rotation tool and I move its edit center where it belongs, okay? So let's select the let's go work with the body, which is the easiest thing. So I'm going to select the body and I'm going to hit O, and boom, there it comes, lower body. So we have lower body, we have shoe front, leg back. All of these edit centers need to be fixed, right? And that's not hard to fix. I'm just going to move them here, right? Shoe back, move its edit center there, right? Shoe front, move the edit center right here. Leg front, same thing. I'm going to move it right there at the base. Okay, and arm back, I'll do the same thing. Arm front, let's see, hand back, put it right at the wrist. Oops. What's that doing here? Hand back. Come on. Okay, that's fine. Shirt, put it right there. Arm front. Okay, arm front. Oh, yeah, that's weird that I separated the sleeve out. Hand front. Okay, so that's good. So let's just talk about some basic parenting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the foot and hit B, and I'm going to go to O, and then I'm going to say that the leg back and the shoe back. I'm going to hit leg back. I'm going to hit Command P again, and that's going to give me another peg, right? And that's going to parent, and I'm going to drag that to shoe back. So now we have this as a single parent. All right, and that's good. So now, again, fix your edit centers. That always tends. So now both of these work in conjunction together, as well as this one by itself. Okay, so you notice that you can select the element or the peg. If you select the element and rotate it by default, but because of the way we set up the settings, the rotation will not take place. There will not be a key set in the drawing column. It will be automatically defer to the peg. So if you accidentally do the rotation on the drawing layer because of the way we set those elements, or I'm sorry, set those preferences, it's not going to hurt you. It's going to be just fine. Okay, but you want to get in the habit of when animating or moving anything that you're going to use pegs. Lower body, here's shoe front, right? Leg front, I'm going to select that, hit Command P, parent it by drawing another line to it, edit the center, place it right there at the base of the leg again. And then the lower body, right? And say lower body is called PP. I could say call it lower body all. I say all. All right, say close, and then parent that and that so that the whole lower body entails, and I'm going to put it right at the crotch line right there. All right, and then the arm back. Arm back and hand back. Well, you have arm back, Command P, parent that to the hand, so that moves all together, so that'll put that at the shoulder. So now, and you know what, I'm going to turn off my JPEG. That'll make things a lot easier, and my color card. So now, when I look at this hand back, that all rotates together. Good. That's what we want. Shirt, right? I'm going to say Command P. I can also, if I don't select something, I say Command P, it'll just say peg all by itself. And I can call this one FM upper body. body dash peg and say close. So that way I have it and then say shirt. Okay, that's the upper body, and that peg entails the entire arm back. Here's the arm front. I don't know why these two are separate. I don't think I would have done that way. That's kind of a mistake. So say, let's just do this, Command P. Yep, that's all both of them. And then hand front, all of that is together right at the shoulder. Makes sense, right? And then say body peg. Notice that my network, nice and neat. Everything is lined up, right? Greens are lined up, blues are lined up. That's what we want. We want a clean room. No messy grids, no messy rooms. No one will want to work with you. All right, and then you line that up. And then in the end, you can say Command P, you can say call this FM body all. Say FM body all dash peg and say, okay, this is his entire body, 1 and 2. And that is the basic parenting system. And so here's his entire body. I'll put it at the base right here. No, actually, let's just put it in the center. And so now you can cycle through your parented system. You can say B, 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 B. That takes you up the chain. Shift B, Shift B, Shift B, Shift B takes you back down the chain. So this is how animators navigate through a rig. All right, this is the network view, and this is how things are parented and set up. These things can get massive, but at the same time, this is also way more powerful. Why? Because everything in the artwork remains on top. You're not nesting inside of nesting inside of nesting as symbols. That just makes more headaches, and I think it also breeds laziness, because then you got to go inside a symbol, and another symbol to fix something, where everything just lays on top. Okay, and if you ever wanted to change an arm position or a hand position, you can select it, go down the timeline, right, and then change the hand. Right, there's your hand, and there's a different hand pose right there, indicated right by a line break. I can get into the timeline a little bit later, but this is parenting, and this is rigging in the network view and the node view, and this is how it's done. Okay, so don't be afraid of it, embrace it. It's a powerful thing, and this is the way that it works, and it's a great tool, and it's also a good selection tool. Okay, so this is the network view. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And if there's any other things that you want me to post about the network view, remember A, D, select something. O will help you find something. B will help you move up and down the chain of your hierarchy. Okay, that's it, class.